Steve. Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to our Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial service for May. And I would like to begin by reading the names of those who have passed away in this month of May. Hideo Ajari, Eki Akahoshi, Tsune Akatani, Kenji Aochi, Fumiko Arimoto, Ada Baba, Hiroko Baba, Douglas Barut Davis, Takeshi Endo, Kikuzo Endo, Roy Endo, Wesley Endo, Heisaku Fuji, Ikutaro Fuji, Kimino Fuji, Toshie Fuji, Tsue Fuji, Yuki Fuji, Kenzo Fujimori, Dorothy Fujimori, Dorothy Fujino, Frank Fujino, Elnora Sonoe Fukuya, Nui Furuta, Soemon Furuta, William Galeota Jr., Masumi Hamamoto, Rose Tomeko Hamasaki, Rokutaro Hanamoto, Kenji Harada, Kuno Hatakeyama, Yasu Hayashida, Daikichi Hazama, Tamotsu Hemmi, Kihachi Hirabayashi, Florence Nita Hiramoto, Terry Hiramoto, Nasuko Hirasawa, Kyushiro Hori, Minoru Horiuchi, Io Ide, Masami Isono, Yasu Isono, Hatsue Iwata, Yasu Kanagaki, Frank Mikio Kaneko, Setsuko Kaneko, Aisaku Kasai, Nobue Kawabata, Tamiko Kawabe, Marvin Kawamoto, Zennoku Keiunji, Matsue Kimura, Sei Kimura, Tsuna Kinoshita, Iwao Kishi, Kichinosuke Kobata, George Koizumi, Teruko Komure, Tamejiro Kono, Tsutai Makita, Yoshiyuki Maruyama, Sachiko Matsui, Koito Matsumoto, Kosuzu Matsumoto, Matsuno Matsumoto, Takinojo Matsumoto, Gitaro Matsutani, Hatsuko Matsutani, Jun Matsutani, Misao Matsutani, Ito Misaki, Eiichi Mitani, Marion Miyamoto, Emiko Miyamura, Komume Mizusaki, Iso Mori, Jotaro Mori, Kinue Mori, Hiroshi Morimoto, Yoshi Morimoto, Minako Morita, Takeshi Nakagawa, Ruby Ruriko Nakano, Mary Nakashima, Yoi Nakashima, Miyoko Nakatani, Tatsuno Nakaya, Baby Narasaki, Kimino Narasaki, Hideso Neishi, Yone Neishi, Ayako Nishiori, Tai Ochikubo, Infant Tatsuko Oka, Tetsuo Okai, Chie Okano, Hide Okano, Kikujiro Okano, Hikotaro Okano, Tsunetaro Okawachi, Kazue Ota, Masako Ota, Yasuo Otani, Dana Oto, Asano Otsuka, Rui Otsuka, Toyoshichi Otsuka, Taeko Robinson, Otojuro Sakai, James Sakamoto, Kishi Sasajima, Natsuyo Sasaki, Yoichi Sato, Robert Shigemoto, Shosuke Shintaku, Umeji Shintaku, Tadao Sumimoto, Mitsuko Tachiki, Mary Takagaki, Shizuo Takata, Masao Takeda, Kumeo Tamori, Robert Tanaka, Yukino Tanaka, Nao Tani, Kazue Tanizawa, Reverend Koju Terada, Jinsuke Toji, Kumi Toriyama, Suma Tsuchida, Eimatsu Tsuchida, Daryl Tsujimoto, Kusuo Tsujimoto, Chikao Tsukimura, Eiko Tsukimura, Tokosuke Tsukimura, James Uchiyama, Tei Ugai, Hisano Umemoto, Sugae Umemoto, Sachi Uratsu, Moshichi Urushibata, Moto Urushibata, Sato Urushibata, Helen Ushijima, Jack Wang, Yoshio Yamabe, Harold Yamamoto, Michisuke Yamamoto, Naono Yamamoto, Yutaka Jim Yamamoto, Shotaro Yasuda, Hatsumi Yokomizo, Issei Yokomizo, Motohachi Yokomizo, George Yokoyama, Yoemon Yoshida, Yoshiko Yoshida, Jun Yoshioka, Sato Yoshioka, Ras Yoshisato. Next, we will have Sutra chanting, and today we will chant Sanbutsuge. And we're passing them out for those in person. And for if you're online, we'll have the words up on the screen. You can also just sit and think about your loved ones during the chanting. Namandam, 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 namandam. Kogen Gigi Ijin Mugok Nyoze Emyo Muyo Tosha Nichigatsumani Shuko Enyo Taishitsu Onpei Yunyaku Jumok Nyorai Yogen Chosemurin Shogaku Daion Koru Jippo
大門精進三昧知恵意徳無量主生慶人体善念諸仏崩壊愚人人の空語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む人の死死人徳無量空君古代知恵人名光明意相神道大仙願が差仏在所法可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任精進如是三昧知恵以上五世特仏不行志願一切空空一切大安決心有仏百千億万無量大小修行語者供養一切使徒諸仏不如愚道見性不客非如語者諸仏世界不不可け無種節道光明知性変知小国如是精進異人難女両が差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如内音任務闘争ガト愛民道達一切実法来生心熱症状意図が国経楽安穏古仏神妙是が心象発願の非力少々欲実法世尊知恵無下上領子孫知が信行軽量 心子食読中画行精進忍辱不敬ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏観にしくどく平等性祭道菩大心往生安楽南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this May Shotsuki Hoyo and Adult Dharma service. In the earlier service, first of all, I thanked the May Shotsuki people who were honoring because I wouldn't be here without them. But also talked a little bit, I was talking about my cat and the idea of the rainbow bridge, right? Which is one way we can understand for what happens when our pets pass away. There's also one of my favorite internet cats was Lil Bub. And I have the book here. Oh, here, let me put this camera on so people can see. There, Little Bub's Big Book. So Little Bub was this interesting cat who was born with some difficulties, right? When she was a kitten, she couldn't walk. She kind of slithered. She had problems with her back. She was kind of perma kitten, they call it. Never really grew to regular cat size. She didn't have any teeth, and that's why her tongue is sticking out. And so the guy who adopted her, I mean, through the internet, she was able to raise all kinds of money for like ASPCA and animal welfare kind of groups. So it's pretty amazing that this animal who is going to be thrown away instead becomes an internet sensation, right, throughout the world, and was even able to, raise money and benefit animals, right, benefit other animals. And so he created this whole story about her, and it's kind of neat because here it says, "I am from the planet Bub. So that's her home planet. She's actually an alien, right? She's from Bub, this planet, and everyone here looks amazing and exactly like me. On my planet, I do as I please, and I fly a space pod. And she crashed on Earth, right? So that's kind of the story of Lil Bub. And the reason why I'm telling you is because she passed away during the pandemic. Grumpy Cat passed away, and Lil Bub passed away. So it was really interesting to hear her dude, the guy who took care of her. That's the only, I don't know his real name. I just know he's her dude. And he would talk about after she passed that she went back to the planet Bub, right? She went back to her home planet. And is even now flying around, you know, in her spaceship, and that her visit here was only temporary. Okay? So kind of interesting to, you know, Rainbow Bridge, Planet Bub, right? I think we can probably have think of other examples, right? And this is for pets, right? For animals. But for us in Jodo Shinshu, we actually have a system of thought about what happens when we die, right? And it's the Pure Land. And so it's the name of our school of Buddhism, right? Jodo Shinshu. Jodo means pure land. Shin, Shu means like true school. So we're the true school of the Pure Land. So this is it's called Pure Land Buddhism. Right? And so the name of our school, like it's so important that our school is named after this, the Pure Land. And I'm pointing here because our Naijin actually is a representation of the Pure Land. Here's Amida Buddha, right? It's Amida Buddha in his land. And so it's we don't hear about it that much. I think in the West, you know, that maybe that's partly why Pure Land Buddhism isn't as popular in the West, because it's not what we're used to thinking of. Right? But the idea is that this is where Amida Buddha is, and he's preaching, right? That he is in his Pure Land now, right? He's in his Pure Land preaching the Dharma. So if I could go there, then I could hear the Dharma being preached from a Buddha. If it's the Pure Land, it's also Sukhavati, the land of peace and bliss. During the chanting at the end, when we said Ganni Shiku Doku Byodo Sei Sai Do Hotsubo Daishin Ojo Anakok. Ojo means go to be born. Annakoku, in the land of peace and bliss. That's the Pure Land, right? When we recite the echo at the end of our chanting, we're wishing that everyone equally can awaken the aspiration for Buddhahood and go to be born in Amida's land of peace and bliss, in the Pure Land of Amida Buddha. It's not samsara. It's not like our world, right? That our world is a world of delusion, world of suffering, world of the three poisons. Very difficult to practice Buddhism here. I mentioned in the earlier service, right, that I spoke to high school kids. And so one of the things I told them about, you know, I think they're just learning about Buddhism. So they might have thought, oh, as a Buddhist minister, you're going to be just calm and mellow all the time and never get angry. But I told them I got mad just that morning while I was driving over here to Oakland, to BCO. Somebody was blocking, you know, when we get off, I come from Route 24. And you turn left and take that ramp off on the right side, and then you have to turn left onto Jackson, right? And someone was sticking out, blocking the intersection. I was so mad. I calmed down pretty quick, but I got mad, right? And I told the students, you know, and at the end, a couple of them said, I really appreciated how you shared your experience, how you got angry. Like, I really felt like, oh, I can relate to this, right? But the reality is, you know, the reality is, what's the big deal, right? And yet make me so angry. Imagine if I had to do that every morning. I don't normally try to get here at 9 or 8 or whatever, right? I normally get here at like 10 or whatever when there's no more traffic. Some people have to drive in that every day, right? And so it's so difficult to not give in to the three poisons, right? So difficult to be selfless, right? And only think of others. But the Pure Land, it's just spontaneous. You don't have to wait till Sunday to hear the Dharma. The breeze blows and the twinkling of the trees makes you hear, oh, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Right? That there's birds, the birds here on the table in the front, right? One of the things that they do is they preach the Dharma. They're birds that are telling you 4 Noble Truths, 8-fold paths, 6 paramitas, right? All the time, everywhere we look in the Pure Land, Dharma. And so it's interesting because it is often portrayed in kind of concrete terms, like the trees and the birds and the palaces and the jewels, and that there's all these descriptions of what the Pure Land is like. And so I think that's kind of confusing too, because it's like, well, what are you talking about? Do I have to believe in this kind of heavenly place? But there are other aspects to the description as well. And even like when we were chanting, there's one line that goes koku nyo nayon. Koku means country. Like sometimes it's understood as Amida's country. They use the term kuni, right? Or koku. Koku nyo. My country, my land is like nayon. That's the Japanese pronunciation of a Chinese transliteration, nirvana. My land is like nirvana. So maybe that's the most important thing to know about the Pure Land. It has the kind of paradise aspect, so it seems kind of like a paradise. But that's just so that we can kind of grasp it. Because if I just told you it's like nirvana, it's empty, right? Then you'd be like, well, that's kind of hard to understand. But if you know, oh, it's this land of peace and bliss, there's no more suffering there. Right? You don't have to, there's no anger, there's no greed, any physical ailments, we don't have them there. You can even, it talks about the pools. There's all these pools everywhere. And you can get in the pool and the water comes up to just the right height. It adjusts to just the right temperature, right? And when you're done, it goes back down, And so for us, it's like, I have that at home. Right? All I got to do is turn a knob, right? And I get just the right temperature. If I want to take a bath, it'll fill up to just the right height. People didn't have that 2,000 years ago, right? And so in some ways you can see you have to kind of put yourself in a different state of mind to be able to think about the Pure Land in that way. But it's basically better than anything I could imagine, right? This paradise of the Pure Land, the bliss of the Pure Land. But it's not for the sake of, it's not a hedonistic kind of thing. It's the bliss of nirvana. And the thing we need to know is that nirvana is not just for myself. So if I go to the Pure Land and attain awakening there, and it's like nirvana, it's not like, phew, okay, good, I'm just going to relax here for a long time. No, right? That along with the awakening is also, so I mentioned the aspiration for awakening, the Bodai Shin, right? What is it? Do hotsu bodai shin. Do is together. Hotsu is come up with or come out with. And bodai shin is the bodhicitta, the mind of Bodhi. The mind saying, I want to be awakened. I want to become a Buddha. But it's also the mind saying, I want to emancipate everyone. I want to save all beings. And that mind aspiring for enlightenment, right, is this incredible aspect of Buddhism. Right? So that the names that I read on the list, right, in one sense, reading those names, is all these people have been born in the Pure Land. Right? All these people they're not in samsara anymore in the way they were before, and they've been born in the Pure Land. So we can kind of rest and relax and think, oh, good, right? They went and met those who went before. Right? But the flip side of it is that they don't stay there, actually. Right? You would think, phew, I made it to paradise. That place before was stinky. Right? I'm so happy to be here in the Pure Land now. But actually, they come right back. They return here instantly as Buddhas, as Bodhisattvas, right? To help those of us who remain here. So it's a really interesting, what would you call it? Cosmology, mythology, right? Thinking of the afterlife for us. But I think it's really powerful too. I think sometimes when maybe we think about it in terms of, if you think about it in terms of a heaven, it's comforting, but okay, right? But then when you think of it too, is it's not just a heaven, it's Buddhahood. It's attaining Buddhahood, right? And that those who go return, come right back, right? To help us, to save us. Sometimes people say, well, how does that work? What is it? Someone float? Are they floating here? Like, they're floating in the corner or something watching us? You know, it's like, I don't like to be too specific about it. Instead, I think it's for each one of us to find that in our life, right? To find that our loved ones are still with us, just in a new way, in a different way. It could be they pop into your mind, right? Maybe you think about it and you realize, wow, you know, you realize something about yourself. When I was thinking about the kids, I didn't say it, but you know, thinking about my dad, and you know, they're all in high school, so I should have said it. You know how, like, when you're in high school, and you know, your parents can be annoying, right? The hard part is when you realize you get yourself doing the stuff that annoyed you, right? And that you realize, oh my gosh, oh no, right? My dad did that and it was so annoying, and now I'm doing it. What, right? But then realizing, but that's part of me. Wow, my dad's part of me. Oh my gosh, how much I received from him, right? And giving me insight into myself, right? Giving me insight into him and my relationship, giving me insight into my relationships now, my life now, right? I think it all plays together. And so, you know, that's the example I like to give, right? And this recognition that I'm not separate, that I'm not here all by myself, that actually, no, I am, all these people are in me, they're part of me. Or when I meet someone and or someone who's passed, actually some of the people on the name, I never met them in person, but I've met them through others, right? I've met them through their children, or even just met them through the temple, right? That they're part of what this temple is too. So, you know, for this Shotsuki, each time it's really this kind of special opportunity, special occasion to honor the people on the list. And as time goes on, I recognize more and more of the people, right? And I know that you know many of the people whose names I read. So this is really kind of this special occasion to think about them, to bring them to mind, to reflect on their impact that they had on us. So I want to thank you for joining us. Let me conclude the Dharma message with Gassho. May all beings equally awaken the aspiration for enlightenment and be born in the land of peace and bliss, the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay. What do you want to play? Okay, we'll do Ondokusan. Shotsuki.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman. Naman.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to express my appreciation to Reverend Michael Endo. There he is, wave to everybody. You see him on the screen. And Steve Terusaki for playing the organ. We're incorporating the organ back into the services. And the host group and everyone else that helped make today's service possible. So I don't think, the USS Hornet event is at 2 o'clock today. It's a dedication of a new exhibit honoring Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders during World War II. And so that's going to be at 2 o'clock. But if you want to go, don't leave too late. The dedication will be at 2. I think the exhibit's already open, but don't try to get there at 2. Try to get there maybe at 1 or 1:30. That's what I'm going to try to do. And other than that, I think we're pretty good. So why don't we conclude the service? Thank you for attending our May Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial and adult Dharma service. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Nam. Okay, thank you. Thank you.